300,000 Rand Mainstay, which is taking place at Clearwood Park in Durban this afternoon, is the feature race on the card. And we're going to take a preview on what's happening there as we join Martin Locke and Stuart Ramsey.
Felix. And welcome to Clearwood Park for the running of the 300,000 Rand Mainstay. It's run over 1,800 meters, and the flags tell the story itself. The southeaster is blowing up a few clouds, and the horses will have the wind behind them, but coming into the straight, they'll be going into a pretty strong breeze, which might make a difference to the running. There's the crowd, and a very excited one too. And here in the parade ring, there's a lot of excitement as we wait for the mounting of the horses. And indeed, we have the jockeys here now. They've just come into the parade ring. And there's a real big buzz on whether the other 3-year-old Jungle Warrior, who's gone to the top of the boards at 2-1 favourite now, whether he is actually going to be the one that pulls off this race now, because he's a classy sort, as you'll hear in this broadcast. But to bring you right up to date with the betting, our commentator today is Eric Denman.
Thanks, Martin. Well, with the scratching of the Royal Chalice, we're not going to have an odds-on favourite, and there it is, the favourite number 15, Jungle Warrior, now on offer at 2-1. Followed fairly closely in the betting by number 11, Honey Bear, at 3-1. Then we go out to Yardmaster, who ran 4th in the July. He's on offer at 7-1. And the runner-up in the July, number 4, Gitano, also at 7-1. Then the outstanding filly, number 17, Kiss of Peace, at 10-1. And the balance of the field are offered at 14-1 and better. Well, let's go back to Martin. He might have some more inside information for us down in the parade ring.
How much do nerves play a part in a big race? I wonder, because here's a man who really has it, because he's won the Rothmans July on 2 occasions, over the air and Bush Telegraph, so he knows what big race temperament's all about. Does it come into the picture for you?
Not for me, Martin, no. It doesn't really worry me. I just take it as a race over 1,800 meters, and I'll do my best.
Garth, you're riding In the Know, and not a lot of people, certainly in Natal anyway, know too much about In the Know. His form in top company in the Cape looks to me to be useful.
He's a very good horse. In fact, he's won most of his races in Natal, so he's shown a good turn of speed in Natal. He enjoys racing here. Whether he sees out the 1,800 metres is the question.
We've got quite a few milers here. Do you think that the pace is going to be dictated by certain milers in the race?
I don't think so. I think you've got light-weighted 3-year-old like Jungle Warrior that'll be trying to slow down to suit himself. At the same time, he can't have it too slow, and I don't think it'll be dictated at all. This is a fairly fast-running 1,800 metres, and it's a true run race.
What do you think is going to go to the front?
I would imagine Little Vic, Lap of Honor. It'll be between those horses that'll take up the running, and could
maybe Yardmaster?
He'll be there. He's got the stamina, and Jungle Warrior must stay in contention.
What is your choice here today?
I must be honest, I think Jungle Warrior's got the class, but I must favour Honeybee a little bit. He's a 4-year-old that was a top-class 3-year-old. Seems to have come back to himself. He's had his 3rd run after a sickness, a rest, and Gelding. I'll be with Honeybee.
Garth Buller, thanks very much indeed. Garth, who's done so well from time to time on the big horses, and he has great memories of Over the Air and some of those other big horses he's ridden too. Well, now it's time to go to the front of the course and join Stuart Ramsey, where he's standing with the cup.
Here in the Mainstay number 1 box will earn for his owners 183,750 Rand. He will also earn the right to have his name engraved on this magnificent trophy that is awarded for the Mainstay every year. There's some great horses on this trophy. It was first awarded in 1984. That year, the race was won by Turncoat, ridden by none other than Mace, the Ace Roberts, who we know is involved in a big race in England today. Then came Maritzfontein. The next year was Model Man, and last year we saw another man, this time Main Man, in that tremendous finish with Model Man, who became the 4th winner of the Mainstay 1800. Well, Martin Locke is in the parade ring with a number of people who got some inside information for us to give us an idea of just who may end up here with this trophy in number 1 box. Let's now go back to Martin Locke.
Well, it's not too often you get a chance to find out what the instructions should be in a race, but I see David Payne and Felix Coetzee over here with Ace Pilot, and we're going to ask them to perhaps come into shot. Hello, Felix. Well done, another winner today.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And David Payne, congratulations.
Thank you.
David, Jeffrey Lloyd has had to stand down. Felix is taking the mount here. Perhaps you'd be good enough to take us through the instructions. A lot of people at home don't ever hear this. What are your instructions to Felix? He wasn't expecting to ride in this race here today, so what are you going to tell him?
Well, I think Felix must bounce him smartly because it's a very big field, and let 3 or 4 lead him. I'd say about 3 or 4 lengths off the leaders and give him a clear run and hope for the best.
Felix, knowing this field, and Yardmasters are pretty fast sort too, there's a couple that could go to the front. What do you think?
Well, it looks like Little Vic might be the leader, and I think Yardmaster will be handy, and I don't think Jungle Warrior will give him too much start with his lightweight either. So if I can be just, within shot of those few, I'm expecting Ace Pilot to give me a good turn of foot at the end.
Felix, very sad about Royal Chalice. I hope that the virus isn't too bad.
Well, I certainly hope so myself, because he's a great horse, and, well, we just don't know how bad it is at this stage.
So what chance do you think you've got here with Ace Pilot? Are you going to keep right-handy, are you, as you've heard from your trainer?
Well, I certainly won't let those big horses get too far away from me, and also keep my eye on Honey Bear, because I think he's got a good chance. And I know that this horse has got heart, and he's always finishing, so I'll use that as my main tactic.
How much is the wind playing a part coming up the straight?
If they go slow in the early part and the horse gets away, well, then you can keep going. It's not a very strong headwind, but it always helps if you can have one to lead you and follow one up the straight.
So this might make it just a little bit further today?
It's not that strong, no.
Felix Coetzee, thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you, David Payne. Well, there we are. That's the connections of Ace Pilot, and a lot of excitement now because the jockeys mount, and the tension starts to mount, and the money starts pouring on. But let's get up to date and see if there's been any movement in the betting as we join Eric Denman.
Oh, we're going to take a look at the tote betting now. Number 1 is Scratch. Number 2, Yardmaster, 9 rand a win and 1 rand 60 a place. Number 3, Sloop, 16 rand a win, 330 a place. Number 4, Gitano, 11 rand a win, 220 a place. And then an outsider, number 5, Victory Ballad, 86 rand a win, 10 rand a place. In the know, coupled, 3 rand 30 a win, 590 a place. A Lap of Honor, 48 a win, 760 a place. Number 8, one of the couplings, 350 a win and 780 a place. Number 9, Little Vic, 10 rand a win, 210 a place. I Try, number 10 is Scratch. Moving on to 11, the 3-way Rixon coupling, 350 a win and 2 rand 10 a place. Honey Bear, not bad. Number 12, Ace Pilot, 12 rand a win, 260 a place. 13, Cloud High, 41 rand a win. Number 14, Air to Riches, 350 the coupling. And then 15, Jungle Warrior, the favourite. 330 a win, 170 a place. Parisian Affair, 31 rand a win, 4 rand 40 for the place. And number 17, the other filly, Kiss of Peace, 9 rand 40 a win and 2 rand 50 a place. And she's already won the South African Fillies Guineas and the South African Oaks, not bad odds. What we're going to do now is go back to Martin and see who he's got next to interview.
Well, that gives you a very good idea of what's going on the tote. With me from Peter Maritzburg, racing editor for the Natal Witness, Andy Harrison. And Andy, I always find this one of the most exciting parts of any race, just being here in the parade ring and seeing these wonderful thoroughbreds. What's been sort of standing out for you?
Martin, on looks, I'd say there are 3 horses in the race. Jungle Warrior looks absolutely outstanding. I think if you backed him, get in the queue on looks.
Really?
Gitano looks outstanding, and the filly Parisian Affair, she's 50 to 1 any price, but she looks very well today.
Interesting, because the connections of Gitano were telling me a few moments ago that this is the first time they've really got the blood right for Gitano.
Martin, I thought this race might be a bit short for him, but he looks outstanding in the ring, definitely.
Well, Felix says that the wind is not making that much difference to the actual distance. It's not that strong, which would have been really in Gitano's favour, wouldn't it?
It would have, Martin, but what worries me is that they're going very slowly in the early stages. All the races run today, they've been very slow down the back straight and sprinting for home, which I think might not suit him.
Well, Andy Harrison, thanks very much indeed. And with me now is Val Rixon, Mr. and Mrs. Rixon, who actually bred Air to Riches, and the owner, Mrs. Lubbe. Hello.
Hello.
Are you enjoying your day? You look very nice, lovely outfit.
Thank you.
Well,
Hi.
not only in the training game, but also in the breeding game. Must be lovely to have bred a horse good enough to run in this race.
Oh, fantastic. No, he's really a super horse.
What chance do you think Air to Riches has got? Because I was very impressed with that run behind Royal Chalice.
Well, I think if he reproduces his earlier form and he really gets his head in gear, he'll be right there. Because there's not a lot to choose between he and Honey Bear, so we hope for both of them.
both very well.
Yes, and South Lake is also very well, so just hope the best horse wins.
Well, thanks very much indeed. Well, there we are. That's the lineup here in the parade ring. They're coming out onto the course. We're going to have a close look at them coming up the chute. So let's join for the betting and a look at the horses, Eric Denman.
Thanks, Martin. Well, we're going to take a look at the betting by the looks of things first. Right, still the favourite, 15 Jungle Warrior at 2-1, closely followed still by number 11 Honey Bear 3-1. No change in the favourites. Yardmaster still at 7-1, Gitano 7-1. A little bit of money for Kiss of Peace now, 10-1. That's number 17 Kiss of Peace 10-1, and 14-1 and better the others. Coming down the chute, that's Garth Puller on In the Know. Back on Sloop there in the green colours, a previous winner of the South African Guineas. Then Gitano. Gitano with Pierre Stradum in the saddle, a very underrated jockey. Rode a great race in the July, in my opinion. Then it was Victory Ballad going past with Frikkie for Mark in the saddle. As I was saying, Pierre Stradum riding Gitano in the July. They came from last to run second. I'm expecting a strong finish from them. That's Garth Puller on In the Know, followed by Lap of Honour and Gavin Haas. They followed out by South Lake and Matthijs Odendaal, and then in the spots, the black with the white spots, one of the three fillies in this afternoon's field, Little Vic and Wai Chang Mo Wing. In the plum colours, green cap, Gary Malloy on Honey Bear. Gary Malloy won the Miracle Mowers on Honey Bear. A little bit of a gap as we wait for Ace Pilot and Felix Coetzee to come out. Remember that Jeff Lloyd was supposed to ride Ace Pilot this afternoon. There we go, Ace Pilot and Felix Coetzee. Well, for those of you who remember last year's finish, this is how they finished, Main Man and Model Man in the Mainstay last year.
Down the inside, Bush Telegraph, Model Man's coming forward now. On the inside, Enchanted Garden and Air to Riches. 300 to go, Main Man still the one to get to. Bush Telegraph, Air to Riches, Model Man's picking them up all the time. Now it's still Main Man. Model Man is closing in late. Main Man keeping on, Bush Telegraph's coming late. Model Man's going to get up close home. Main Man's fighting back. It's going to be close. They get there, and I think Model Man got up from Main Man and Bush Telegraph.
Well, thank you, David. Welcome back to Clarewood Park, where the wind has increased maybe a little bit, but we heard what Felix Coetzee had to say, that the wind is certainly not going to affect the horses. It's not strong enough to make any difference to the actual distance of the race, so we can forget about that. It is blustery, but to get up to date with the betting, here's Eric Denman.
Thanks, Martin. You can see the full crowd there. Money on the favourite, Jungle Warrior now 16-10. 16-10 Jungle Warrior. Honey Bear's drifted 4-1. Number 2, Yardmaster, drifted a point 8-1, followed by number 9, Little Vic. She's drawn 1, and she's also drifted out to 8-1. Number 4, Gitano, now 10-1, and the bookmakers are betting 12-1 and upwards the others. 12-1 bar those 5. Right, that's the serious side, the betting now done. We're going to go back to Martin, or should I say, back to Beauty and the Beast.
Well, I must say I never doubted the popularity of Miss South Africa, and if ever I had, the crowd here at Clarewood Park have made it pretty obvious that she's a big favourite, isn't she? Yes. They've all been trying to find out what Janine thinks is going to win the race, so let's maybe begin by asking her what she fancies.
I like Jungle Warrior and also Honey Bear, I think.
I love your outfit. Is this another special from, or do I not say?
No, don't say it.
A lovely outfit.
Thank
very,
you very
very
much.
nice.
Thank you.
What have you thought of the fashions here today?
Very nice fashions. They seem to be all sort of above the knee, which is, I think, for the whole season it's going to be like that.
So the crowd here, they seem to be very excited, but nobody seems really sure of the winner, do they?
No, since there was scratchings, I'm sure a lot of people are in doubt who's going to win.
Well, Janine, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Janine Botbell, if you want to go with the glamour, and she certainly is, maybe you're a warrior. There's a lot around here who keep shouting for her to say something, so maybe it is the Jungle Warrior. Let's join that other warrior down at the start, Stuart Ramsey.
Well, thank you, Martin. As you'll see, the horses have arrived down at the start. The jockeys are circling around with them, just checking their saddles. I have with me the starter, Don Allenson. Don, what's the procedure once the horses arrive here?
Stuart, in this country, all the horses are graded according to their temperament. It's quite a simple process. The quiet horses will be brought in first, and then when we've loaded them, we'll bring in the more nervous ones, and then the fractious ones come in last. The idea being that we can get them in and out without having to them breaking out and reloading continuously. So it's all done in the name of efficiency, actually.
You got any problem horses here, Don?
Yes, we have. We've got about 5 actually who would all like to come in last. They can't very well do that, but we'll do our best. Sloop is a problem horse, In the Know, Brazilian Affair, 80 Riches and Victory Ballet. But they'll have handlers allocated to them and they'll try and calm them down and keep them ready till the end.
Well, Don, thanks very much. Well, the owners will be hoping that they may go in last, but they don't finish last. Well, Martin Locke has got some information for us on some of those fancied runners. We're going to cross back now to Martin in front of the main stand.
Well, a comment from one of the pundits standing next to me, who's a respected gambler in the game, watched them all go down, and he said he thought that Honey Bear went down better than he did in the Rothmans July and looked a stronger horse. So if you happen to fancy Honey Bear after seeing that Honey, then maybe that's the one too. Eric Sands trains Jungle Warrior. Let's see what he thinks.
Eric, Jungle Warrior ran well below his form in the SA Guineas at Greyville. What was the reason for that?
It was a very slow run race. He was basically boxed in. He had a horse in front of him and horses around him, so he couldn't move. But I mean, that Guineas was nearly 9 seconds slower than last year. He's a long striding horse and he needs a long run in. That's a short run in. He wasn't suited to the race at all.
Now, he was second in the Richelieu Guineas and won the Cape Derby. That was good form. Is he in that type of form at the moment?
I reckon he is, yes. I must say I have reservations about the second run after a layoff. But he's as well as he was then. He's eating well, looking well and working well.
Well, he's not the only horse you've got in the race. You've also got In the Know. What do you think of him?
In the Know, he won a good race last time. He won better than the distance suggested. And he's come on since that race. Garth Puller, who's riding him, he knows the horse well. He feels he's come on. And if he sees the distance, the 1800, he'll definitely be there.
Well, welcome back here to this part of the world. And, you know, the people that make racing are really the people who come here, the punters. I'm not sure if they came to see me or whether, or whether they came to see Miss South Africa.
Yes.
Who was it?
We came to see you.
No. Give us a winner.
Martin.
What's going to win the race?
Honey Bear.
Honey Bear?
Yes. Honey Bear.
Honey Bear.
Godmaster. Heir to
riches. Well, we haven't had one for Jungle Warrior out of all these chaps here. But what about the man who has 3 horses, Ralph Rickson?
Ralph, you've got 3 horses in the race. We start with South Lake. He's only had 2 runs for you.
Yeah, he's had 2 runs for me here in Durban, and he's run fair races. He wasn't too far behind them in his last run, and he's improved. And it's his 3rd run, which is a nice run. And I'm sure he could be in the money tomorrow.
Now, Honey Bear was 6th in the July. He had Gitano and Yardmaster just in front of him. Do you think you can reverse that decision with him?
Yeah, well, it's 2 furlongs shorter, and if you remember, 3/4 of a furlong from home, he was lying a good 3rd. And I think the shorter distance will suit him, and being his 3rd race. His second run I don't like, but I think he should go extremely well tomorrow.
Well, Heir to Riches, I know he's a bit temperamental, but he's had 2 runs since he came back from his layoff. How's he?
No, he's very fit and he's very, very well. And the people in the racing community will remember that last year he won 3 of his races by no more than 24 lengths. So he loves Clarewood, and he's a top horse here at Clarewood, and he's very fit and he should run extremely well.
Right, we're just about ready to roll now for the Mainstay 1800. Let's go and join Stuart down at the start.
Yes, as you'll see, the horses have started to load. I see Jungle Warrior very close to me, gone in with Basil Marcus smiling and winking down here. Eric, it's going to go back to you now to lead them in for the people and just point out the different horses for them. And I'm going over to join the starter, and later we're going to hear him giving the heads up to start the race. Over to you, Eric.
Thanks a lot, Stuart. Going in there in the turquoise blue with the black colours as Ace Pilot. Remember, Felix could see replacement rider going in there aboard that one. And standing in the stalls already is Little Vic. In the plum colours with the green is Honey Bear. The orange and white on the far side is the grey filly Kiss of Beast. Honey Bear just a little nervous. She backed out. Going to get 2 handlers on Honey Bear. Gary Malloy in the saddle. He's already ridden a winner here this afternoon. Going up again, Honey Bear. On the far side, in the mustard with the black dots and blue sleeves, Lapavana. Lapavana now in, then Yardmaster in the hoops, followed in by Cloud High.
Right, there's 5 more to go.
Might have heard the starter shout in there, 5 more to load. In the orange colours, Victory Ballad. The green colours just went out of your screen was Sloop. So all the handlers around Victory Ballad, Ed Rich is there, the blue sleeves. One giving a slight problem at the moment, Victory Ballad. After Victory Ballad, we will still have 4 to go. There goes Victory Ballad forward. The other 4 making no attempt. The tail handlers noted for the efficiency. They get these horses in really sharply. Giving Victory Ballad one more try. Now he's decided he's going to go in. No, it's going to prove me wrong and be stubborn. Backs off.
Put a hood on it.
Well, Eric, you may have heard there, sorry to interrupt, I'm down at the start with the starter, and you may have heard the starter, Don Allison, telling the handlers to put a hood there on this difficult horse, but I see he has gone in now.
Right, he's gone in.
4 more to go.
There goes Eda Richards up. Then with the white Maltese cross, the other filly, Parisian Affair.
more.
Let's go and join Stewart and starter Don
2 more
Allison
now.
with 2 to load down at the start and see what
Last
goes
2
on down
coming in.
there.
Well, thank you very much, Eric. You can hear Don Allinson there calling in the last 2 horses.
One more,
The
come
one's
on.
in, only 1 to go. Stand by to hear Don Allison start
The last
the
one coming
Mainstay 1800. Here it
Hood
comes.
to come off there. Take the hood off. Head up!
100. Very good beginning. Air to Rich has got a good break. Yardmaster there in the early stages as well. Lap of Honor going to lead them off. Just in behind that is Cloud High, then the filly Little Vic, behind that is Ace Pilot. They were followed by South Lake. Then we got Victory Ballad. Here's the favourite. Jungle Warriors about 6 lengths off the leader. Then the grey filly Kiss of Peace being followed a short head by Sloop. A long way back is In the Know. Between horses is Parisian Affair and Gitano at the back again today as they went through the 1200 in the Mainstay. Now it's Lap of Honor by 1.5 lengths. Eda Richards tugging himself second. Then came Yardmaster being followed the fence by Little Vic. On the far side in the brown colours is Cloud High. Marcus is going okay on Jungle Warrior in 6th place, 4.5 lengths off the leader. Then Ace Pilot in the blue socks. They were followed by South Lake. Behind that was Victory Ballad. Then the grey filly in the orange and white colours, Kiss of Peace, being followed in the green by Sloop. Then In the Know, Gitano and Pierre Stratham are going to straighten second last in the Mainstay, and Parisian Affairs at the back. As they straighten, just over 600 to go in the Mainstay 1800. Lap of Honor by 2 lengths. Eda Richards is going to be the first one to chase. Then Yardmaster in third in the brown colours, Cloud High. Behind that, Little Vic in the white spots. The favourite with the white noseband and the blue colours now and the yellow sleeves is coming fast, Jungle Warrior. But it's Lap of Honor, Eda Richards. Jungle Warrior, the 3-year-old, beginning to close in on the outside. Eda Richards, the one to catch in the Mainstay, but Jungle Warrior and Marcus have got running in them. There's 200 to go. It looks like another humdinger. Eda Richards on the outside. Jungle Warrior's taken over at the right time. He's going to win the 88 Mainstay. Jungle Warrior, the 3-year-old with Marcus, is going to win under a perfect ride. Jungle Warrior by 2 lengths. Felix Coetzee gets up on Ace Pilot for second placing. Eda Richards held on for third. Close between a Parisian Affair and Honey Bear. They were followed over the line by Yardmaster. Then came Sloop. Behind that, Gitano. Then South Lake. Behind that, Cloud High. And then In the Know. And Victory Ballad was last over the line. Well, another 3-year-old of our feature races here in our Natal winter season. Jungle Warrior, perfectly ridden there from the outside stall by Basil Marcus. Jungle Warrior winning by about 2.5 lengths. That's the trainer. We actually had Ralph Rickson in the picture there. We are looking for Eric Sands. There's the slow-mo, Basil Marcus on the left-hand side of the screen with the yellow sleeves and the noseband, taking over now with about 100 to go from a tire in Eda Richards. Ace Pilot and Felix Coetzee in the blue and black colours getting up for second, but have no chance with Jungle Warrior at the line in the Mainstay. Jungle Warrior by 2.5 lengths. Ace Pilot second. The outsider Eda Richards holding on for third. Definitely the filly Parisian Affair taking the 4th place in. So that's definitely Parisian Affair just holding on for 4th. 15 Jungle Warrior, the winner by 2 lengths. Second Ace Pilot, a chance ride for Felix Coetzee. Third Eda Richards. That's our winner in the picture. Starting favourite, Jungle Warrior, not as close as finish as we had last year in the Mainstay 1800, but what we're going to go and do now is go down to the winner's circle. Right, you can see that Jungle Warrior is just about at the winner's circle, and from Clarewood Park for this year's Mainstay 1800, we're going to go back to the Top Sport desk.